Alright guys, let's be honest here for a second. Studio Series 86 Dinobots aren't new anymore. They're not trending. Nobody's rushing to be, throwing themselves all over them, talking about how great they are. There's no glaze, not much hype anymore. And yet people are still buying these things, still hunting them down, still paying outrageous prices. I'm looking at you, Slag. And that tells me something. Because if this was just about hype, these figures would have faded off into the memory hole already. So the real question never was, are they any good? The real question is, are the Dinobots actually worth finishing, especially now, going into 2026? At this point in the trip, the basics are settled. They're big, they're heavy, they're chunky, they look like they just jumped out of the cartoon. We don't even need to rehash all this. What actually matters now is what it's like to actually own these figures, months or years later when the excitement fizzles out. The dopamine's worn off, credit cards long forgot your travesty. These aren't the kind of toys you casually pick up and forget about. They don't blend in. They don't disappear into a display. Every single one of these guys you buy, it's a conscious choice. And the funny thing about it is, they almost feel like an unfinished sentence if you don't have each and every single one of them. Let's talk about the one thing everybody tiptoes around. The money. At retail, these things were already pushing the upper limit of what people were comfortable with paying. Now, you're not shopping, you're negotiating with reality. Grimlock is almost never the problem. He's always the gateway. You buy Grimlock, you oppose him, you convince yourself he was worth every penny, and why not? He's sexy. And then your brain immediately starts filling in gaps for you. And that's when the competition kicks in. The closer you get to finishing the team, the more expensive every remaining Dinobot becomes. Not because they're better, but because you're already invested. At some point, you're not paying for plastic, you're paying for peace of mind. And another part that the group shots never tell you, these Dinobots are not perfectly balanced. Grimlock earns his reputation. He looks powerful from almost every angle. He anchors the entire lineup. If this line ended with Grimlock, most people would have walked away happy. Slag, whatever they're calling him now. He's solid. He's heavy, he's aggressive. And that's where the opinions on this guy split. Some people say brute strength. Others see an awkward potato-looking thing. There's really no neutral reaction to him. Sludge is impressive in a way that almost works against him. His Dino mode is amazing. His robot mode feels like it had to be severely compromised to do that, however. Snarl, he benefits from being released later. He's got cleaner engineering, he's better balanced, and he feels like Hasbro had more confidence by the time they got to him, but he kind of sucks. And Swoop might be the best looking of all the Dinobots in the entire line, but he's also the one that painfully reminds you that these are toys. These are not statues. Another thing nobody likes to talk about, and it's not money, it's space. These figures do not politely fit into shelves. They claim territory. In robot mode, Grimlock will dominate any display you put him in, whether you want him to or not. In Dino mode, they look incredible together, but they look strange when they're split apart. If you don't give them the room, they lose a lot of what makes them feel premium. So, who should actually finish these guys? These are for collectors who love G1 designs. They're not going to let you down in that regard. If you prefer just a stagnant display, these are good for that. If you want a good representation, close the book on these guys, these are a solid option. But if you rotate your stuff constantly, collect third party, maybe your space isn't what it should be, like mine, less than optimal, there might be better options for you. I mean, don't take what I'm saying as me being negative toward them, because these things are absolutely worth owning. They're impressive, they're iconic, and together, they make a statement few modern Transformers can match. But they're not automatically worth finishing. Finish these guys because you love the Dinobots, not because the shelf looks incomplete without the others. Alright, so I'm curious. What are your thoughts about the Studio Series Dinobots? Do you think they were overpriced? Do you think the aftermarket's insane? Did you go with other options like I did? Tell me about it in the comments. Go ahead, give me a like while you're at it. Hit a subscribe. Go do something more fun.
You break my heart.